Kate's wardrobe is front page news. She is this global fashion ambassador, but it's her charity work that truly deserves the headlines.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be sat where I am today. It saved my life.
Kate, judge my work, not my clothes. Next Saturday at 8:30. Stream on 5.
Channel 5 thought they were throwing Kate Middleton a lifeline with their documentary Kate, Judge My Work, Not My Clothes. But instead of saving her reputation, they've accidentally created a comedy goldmine that's had the internet in stitches for weeks. Welcome to the Sussex Spotlight. If you're loving this kind of honest royal analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing Sussex Spotlight family. We're just getting started, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. So let's start with what Channel 5 was trying to achieve here. The palace was clearly desperate to shift the narrative. For over a decade, Kate Middleton has been Britain's most expensive mannequin, a walking clothes rack who shows up, smiles, waves and disappears. Her entire brand has been built on fashion moments. That blue Isa dress from the engagement announcement, the Alexander McQueen wedding gown, the endless coat dresses at every single event. But here's where it gets interesting. Behind the scenes, Kensington Palace has been working overtime to rebrand Kate as a serious working royal. They've been planting stories about her heavy workload, her passion projects, and her dedication to duty. The problem? The public isn't buying it. This documentary was supposed to be the solution. Channel 5 promised to showcase Kate's substantial contributions, her meaningful work, her impact on British society. They were going to prove once and for all that there's more to the Princess of Wales than designer outfits and photo opportunities. Spoiler alert, they couldn't. And that brings us to the elephant in the room that this documentary completely failed to address. What exactly is Kate's work? Let's do a quick inventory, shall we? In her 13 years as a royal, Kate has launched exactly 3 major initiatives. 3. The Early Years campaign, which focuses on early childhood development, the Hold Still photography project during COVID, and various mental health awareness campaigns, mostly piggybacking on work already started by William and Harry. Compare that to other royals. Princess Anne completes over 400 engagements a year. She's patron of over 300 organisations and actually shows up to do the work. King Charles, even before becoming monarch, was running the Prince's Trust, revolutionising organic farming and championing environmental causes for decades. But Kate, her idea of work is showing up to a children's centre for 45 minutes, playing with some toys, giving a speech someone else wrote, and calling it a day. The documentary tried to present this as groundbreaking royal work, but viewers saw right through it. One particularly brutal comment on Twitter read, "I've watched this documentary twice trying to find the work they want me to judge. All I see is a woman who occasionally visits places and smiles. My local councillor does more actual work in a week." And here's what's really damaging. People started comparing Kate's workload to actual working people. Teachers, nurses, social workers, people who are making real differences in their communities every single day. The contrast was stark and embarrassing. But here's where the palace's strategy gets really ridiculous. In their desperation to pivot away from fashion coverage, Kensington Palace actually stopped providing outfit details in their official press releases. They thought if they didn't mention the designers, people would stop talking about the clothes. It was like trying to stop the tide with a paper towel. The public noticed immediately. Fashion blogs started detective work to identify her outfits anyway. The fashion industry felt snubbed. And worst of all, it drew even more attention to her clothes because now it felt secretive and strange. One fashion journalist perfectly captured the absurdity. For 13 years, Kate's team has fed us nothing but fashion content. Royal tours were basically elaborate fashion shows. Every engagement was styled to perfection. And now they're acting like we're shallow for noticing. They created this monster. The documentary tried to argue that focusing on Kate's clothes diminishes her other contributions. But when your other contributions amount to reading prepared statements and cutting ribbons, maybe the fashion is the story. And then social media got hold of this documentary, and that's when things got really entertaining. TikTok users started creating compilation videos of Kate's work set to comedy music. One viral video showed 45 seconds of Kate cutting ribbons, shaking hands and holding flowers while the Benny Hill theme played in the background. It got over 2 million views. Twitter was even more savage. The hashtag #JudgeMyWork started trending, but not in the way the palace hoped. People were posting their own work achievements alongside screenshots from the documentary, with captions like, "Kate cut a ribbon today, I performed open heart surgery, we are not the same." Reddit threads dissecting the documentary went viral. One user broke down Kate's work by the numbers. In 2023, Kate completed 128 engagements. Sounds impressive until you realise that's less than 2.5 per week, and most lasted under 2 hours. She's basically working part-time and calling it dedication to duty. But the memes were the real knockout punch. Someone created a bingo card of Kate's standard appearances. Awkward small talk with children, pretends to be interested in local craft, wears appropriately priced coat dress, leaves after exactly 47 minutes. Another user made a documentary trailer parody called "Kate, Judge My Scheduling Conflicts" that got shared thousands of times. The internet had turned the princess into a punchline, and the palace couldn't control the narrative anymore. Of course, you can't talk about Kate's work without the inevitable comparisons to Meghan Markle surfacing online, and boy did they surface. Whether you love her or hate her, Meghan's post-royal resume is extensive. The Archwell Foundation has funded disaster relief, built community centres, and supported women's shelters. She's executive producing Netflix documentaries, launched a lifestyle brand, written children's books, and gives speeches at major conferences about women's rights and social justice. People started making side-by-side comparisons online. Meghan left the royal family and immediately started 3 businesses, a foundation and multiple media projects. Kate has been royal for 13 years, and we're still trying to figure out what she actually does. Now, I'm not here to pit women against each other, but the contrast in productivity is striking, and social media users picked up on it immediately. One particularly viral tweet read, "Meghan was called difficult for wanting to actually work and make changes. Kate is praised for existing beautifully. Make it make sense." The documentary's timing made these comparisons even more painful for Kate's image. While Meghan was launching new initiatives and giving substantive interviews about real issues, Kate was on television asking people to please notice her work, without actually showing much work to notice. Behind the scenes, you can bet Kensington Palace was in full crisis mode. This documentary was supposed to be their masterpiece of reputation management. They'd probably spent months coordinating with Channel 5, selecting the perfect clips, crafting the narrative. Instead, they'd given their critics ammunition and made Kate look desperate and out of touch. Reports suggest that senior palace staff were disappointed with the public reaction, which is royal speak for absolutely furious. They'd tried to control the narrative and instead lost control completely. The failure of this documentary represents something bigger, the palace's complete misunderstanding of how modern media works. You can't spend 13 years building someone's brand around fashion and photo ops, then suddenly demand people take their substantial work seriously without actually providing evidence of that substantial work. It's like a restaurant that's only served appetizers for years, suddenly demanding to be judged as a fine dining establishment without changing the menu. This documentary disaster comes at possibly the worst time for the monarchy. King Charles is dealing with serious health issues. William's leadership style is increasingly questioned. The institution needs stability and competence, not PR disasters. Kate was supposed to be the safe choice, the reliable royal who never caused problems. But this documentary revealed that playing it safe for 13 years might have been the biggest problem of all. In an era where the public expects accountability and substance from public figures, Kate's approach feels increasingly outdated. The monarchy is already facing questions about relevance, cost and value to society. Having one of their most prominent members unable to articulate her contributions beyond "please don't judge my clothes" doesn't exactly strengthen the case for keeping them around. Young people especially are looking at this documentary and asking, this is what our tax money funds? Someone whose biggest accomplishment is wearing nice outfits to events? The most damaging aspect of this entire situation isn't the memes or the criticism, it's the uncomfortable truth that's been exposed. For 13 years, Kate Middleton has coasted on good looks and fashion choices while doing the absolute minimum required of her position. The documentary tried to argue otherwise, but without substantial evidence, it just highlighted the Emperor's new clothes situation. When you ask people to judge your work instead of your clothes, you better make sure there's actually work to judge. So there you have it. Channel 5's attempt to rehabilitate Kate Middleton's image instead became an accidental comedy special that exposed the hollow nature of modern royal duty. The phrase, "judge my work, not my clothes," will go down as one of the most backfiring PR slogans in royal history. The public called their bluff and the results were devastating. This was the Sussex Spotlight, bringing you the royal reality check you won't get anywhere else. What's your take? Was this documentary the biggest royal PR disaster of the year? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're not already part of our Sussex Spotlight family, hit that subscribe button right now. We're building something special here with honest, unfiltered royal commentary, and you're going to want to be part of this journey from the beginning. I'll see you in the next one, where we dive even deeper into the palace's PR meltdowns. Until then, keep watching, because the royal drama never stops, and neither do we.